Hello. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hi, this is Christine Crowell, and welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk to you about how much gold or silver that you need to be able to buy. I'm using this as a really strong example, for example, what you need to actually purchase a house, for example. Now, what I want to say to you is that you can look at this as a long-term plan. I'm not saying to get a house overnight. I'm not referring to that whatsoever. I'm referring to purchasing a house in, say, 5, 10 years time, for example. And today's video is about how you can go about doing that, depending on where your location is and where you want to purchase the house, for example. That will that will also determine the length of years, for example, for that particular house. So welcome to my channel, and I'm so glad that you're here. And what I want to do is I'm just going to do this 1 second. Just have to mute this, so hopefully everything is fine and you can still hear me. And what I really want to say is welcome to the channel, for example, and thank you so much for being here and for your subscriptions as well as your likes as well. So I do really appreciate you taking the time out to be here today. So I'm going to go through this because it's important that we look at all the different strategies that we can use to grow our business, for example, and also to, if you don't have a business, and you're just looking at getting some money together so that you can purchase your own home, or for a family member, for example, I'm going to be providing you with some guidance. Now, I am not a professional finance expert whatsoever, so please do seek financial advice regarding this, because this is just an experience of what I would do if I was to purchase a house in, say, 5 to 10 years. So today's video is about how real estate and gold work together for smart investing, because they go hand in hand as well, providing you're at the right time, for example, in the market, because sometimes houses can fluctuate quite a bit. So you have to make sure that when you're ready to buy, that it is at the right price and not at an over exaggerated price, for example. So this will, by you saving gold or silver, for example, this will really enable you to have a really strong position, and also to look at what it is that you want the house for. Is it for yourself, or maybe you want to do rental, for example, and rent the property out? So depending on that, it all depends on the amount that you're going to need. Now, I do have a free guide here, which is a straightforward, simple guide for you to have a look at, to give you some really good tips on how you could go about doing that, starting off slowly. So real estate prices, they're shifting all the time. Whereas with gold and silver, they're on the rise. And this really is what you call smart investing. They're both used to build wealth. Now, there's plenty of people around the world that is buying gold and silver like there's no tomorrow. Some people, they're spending 50 million, 100 million, 100 million, a billion, you might as well say, because they're buying it up. Now, there's companies out there that do industrial manufacturing, for example, that need this silver, because otherwise they're not going to be able to function, for example. So this is why I'm saying to you to buy the silver and to buy the gold before it runs out, because the silver mines are they are being depleted, and it is really, according to experts, it is, and I put a link here as well where the video is, it is due to run out in 20 years time, for example, if they don't find other mines, for example. And this is on a global scale that I'm referring to. And there's plenty of landmines, for example, around the world. Now, Canada has one of the biggest land mine. So, you know, around the world, we've all got precious metals and not everybody, should I say, but there's precious metals like gold, silver, rhodium, platinum, copper, silver, you name it. Okay. Now, there's also minerals as well. Okay. And there's a big shift happening. Okay. People are warring over this, for example. So in today's video, I want to break down with you the powerful connection between real estate, inflation, and precious metals, and why understanding this relationship can help you make better financial decisions over the next 5 years, for example. So, welcome back to the channel, and if you are serious about building long-term wealth, then hit the like, subscribe to the channel, because today's strategy could be something that's going to help you in your planning for your wealth in the future, for example. So why real estate and gold move together? Now, gold price charts, like I've got here, I'm going to show you here. This one here, today's, I printed this off today, and it's saying $2,989.63. That is the price when I was printing this morning from the website that I got this from, which is, I'm going to put the link here as well so that you'll be able to see it. So that's the gold price. That was live, and that was this morning. I'll put the link here, but it also talks about investing in gold, gold bullion, frequently asked questions. Also, I printed off the silver price, for example, which is $33.92 per ounce. Like I said, this $2,989, this is per ounce. Look at the difference. But don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Because like when I did the video yesterday, I talked about how precious silver, I believe, is going to become, because it's got dual purpose. It is used for retail, but it's also used for manufacturing, industrial, for example. And they're going to need to be able to build more grids to do the electronic vehicles, for example, the solar panels. Now, there could be a stage in time whereby the silver can be, you know, like revamped, you know, if it's been, you know, thrown away because it's broken or whatever, then you can see whether you can get like scrap silver, for example, because something is broken and they've had to, you know, throw it away, send it to the scrap yard or whatever. Now, that is a good way of getting metal. By the way, is if you know of a scrap yard, you can go there and see if you can get some scrap metal, for example. Now, another way is, like I've been saying, doing scrap gold parties as well, doing gold and silver. So, because the reason why I'm mentioning this is because you can get gold and silver at a reduced rate from the spot price. Sometimes it can be like 30% less, for example. So that is a good savings for you. as well as the inflation is increasing price wise, the value is increasing. It's a win-win situation for you. Okay, so real estate and gold might seem like two different completely assets, but in reality, they have a wonderful connection. So gold is an edge against inflation. When the economy slows, investors move their money into gold, which is what we are seeing a lot of. Or maybe you're not, and I'm here to tell you that there's people, they're just buying gold. Governments are buying gold. Governments are buying silver. Banks are buying silver and gold. Family offices are buying silver and gold. They want it. They literally want it physically, not on a piece of paper. They don't believe. Well, the dollar is devaluing, for example, so they are looking at having something tangible in their hands, for example, and you should be looking at something like this as well. So like I said, gold is an edge against inflation. So with the economy, as it's slowing down, people are moving their money into gold and silver instead. They're purchasing it at mass, tons, not ounces, but tons, because they are aware that, the gold and silver could literally run out, not right away, but many years to come, for example. So real estate, like I said, it's a long-term store value. Gold has that same relationship. So right now, if you're seeking both inflation and rising interest rate, this means investors need to have a strategy. So like I showed you the comparison chart for gold and silver, for example. So this is the silver, 33.92 cents. So $33.92 silver, whereas the gold is nearly $3,000. And I believe it's hit $3,000 probably now, for example. Okay, so in 2008, the housing market collapsed. Gold prices soared though. I wasn't aware of this myself, but looking at the evidence here, it is here, and it soared to $800 to over $1,900 per ounce. That was in 2008, and today it is $3,000, and it's increasing. So the key here is knowing when to move your money between real estate and gold for maximum profit. Now, we've seen Warren Buffett, we've seen the large organizations, they're moving the gold that they have and the silver. Like America is moving it from the UK to New York, for example. There's Fort Knox. We're hearing a lot about Fort Knox. All of a sudden, it's come back into our memory about Fort Knox, for example, because that's the gold reserve. So real estate trends and gold prices. So from 1970, for example, to 2025, let's take a quick look at the history so that you understand the housing and gold, how they've reacted to the recession and inflation since 1970. So house prices were stagnant or dropped in many cities. This is 1973 to 75, the recession. So but the gold skyrocketed from $100 to $850 per ounce in just a few years. So this is where it becomes better than a house. but it's good to have both. So in 1980, inflation, there was the crisis. Mortgage rates hit 18%. Remember, some of it could have been a bit slightly higher as well. House prices dropped. Nobody could afford to buy a house. Gold hit record highs as people rushed to protect their money. And in 2008, again, the housing crash. House values collapsed. Millions were lost. People lost their homes. Gold prices doubled in just 3 years. So there's a history here. And this is the good thing, is that we've got history, but we don't really see it the first time, the second time. Sometimes it takes multiple times to really take things on board. And that is how our human brains work. So like I showed you the prediction of the gold prices and the silver prices. Now in 2025, the history, for example, is repeating itself. And this always happens. We always hear this story, don't we? It's like history repeating itself. Interest rates are rising. Inflation is still high. And gold is approaching all-time highs. And if you're watching this, you're ahead of 99% of investors. So when I'm looking at the year 5 investment strategy, 2025 to 2030, I want you to be able to really look at how you can profit over the next 5 years. So here's the strategy, for example. And let me know in the chat if you can hear what I'm saying, for example, because I'd love to hear your thoughts about what I'm saying as well. Because, this is something which has really come forward whereby, I just want to make sure that you can hear me clearly so that, things are running smoothly, even though I can see a muted sound here for some reason. And I think that's because of the stream talking. So I'm going to carry on. But please do let me know if you can hear me. Okay? I'd really appreciate your comments as well about what I'm saying. Whether you think that this is a good idea, whether you've started doing this, whether it's worked well for you as well. So I'd love to hear your comments as well. So I'll continue on with the 2025-2030 strategy that I have here. So imagine that over the next 5 years, you've got a strategy from year 1, 2025, you start accumulating gold and silver, for example. And I'm just going to put my video on here. Okay, so what I would do is I would buy scrap gold at 40% below the market value, i.e. pawn shops, for example, eBay, estate sales, for example. I would really be looking at trying to build up my scrap gold stock or my gold stock, for example. I wouldn't be focusing on buying real estate at high prices right now, because the price could dip down because of the value of the money currently at the moment. So year 2 and 5, You want to, this is year 2026 to 2027, for example. You want to monitor the real estate prices, because this is the key, because you're going to be focusing on your property ready for when you're ready to purchase your property, for example. So always look at what the real estate prices is doing, making sure that just having a look to see if the prices have dropped, but also what are the mortgage rates? Is it stabilized? You've got to look at these things. Start looking for deals. Continue holding gold and silver as your edge. Why? If that market corrects, you'll be able to buy real estate for a lower price while gold continues to hold its value. So year 4, that's 2028 to 2030, time to buy real estate. So you sell a portion of your gold at peak prices. So if your gold reaches, say, 5,000 per ounce, for example, use your profit to buy real estate at lower prices. Lock in fixed rate mortgage, for example, before interest rates rise again. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just talking to you here on YouTube video, for example. So always seek legal advice. This is not me giving you legal advice or financial advice. I'm just talking to you about what would work, for example. Okay, so imagine, right, that you have got like 50,000 invested in gold versus keeping it in cash over 5 years in your bank account, because it will depreciate, the cash would, especially as it is at the moment. So what I'd like to know is, what is your plan for beating inflation? Because, it does seem like sometimes things are working against you, but this could be, something that is going to benefit you, providing that you've got a strategy in place. And yes, there's a lot of negativity out there, but keep focused. Be like the horse having the shutters on, and be focused on what you need to do, for example. So how much gold would you need to buy a home outright? So let's use an example here. If your home that you're looking to purchase costs, say, $400, then gold is at 3,000 per ounce. You will need 133 ounces of gold today, for example. I'm just using this as an example. But imagine if gold hits 5,000 per ounce in 2030, then you would only need 80 ounces of gold. So this means that buying gold now, before the prices rise, could reduce the number of ounces that you need to buy your home. This is what you call getting extra profit, income stream, dividend, whatever you want to call it. You can do this in a really strategic way. So imagine you've got small stacks of gold today versus a house in 2030. It's a powerful thing, isn't it, right? So gold isn't just metal. It's a wealth building tool. Create yourself an action plan by getting yourself ready today. Get a notepad out and start planning your strategy today. So imagine, right, that you create a checklist, for example. Then you start accumulating scrap gold at a discount, a 40% discount. That's what you've always got to try and work towards, to try and get the best deal. You always start off lower, not what the price currently is, for example. So this can be from real estate, from pawn shops, for example, and eBay, for example, amongst other places as well. You can also test the goal that you've got. So you need to learn how to test your goal and where to get your gold refined. So you need to find a refinery partner that is a professional. Number 3, you can store your gold bars or coins ready for resale 2028, 2030, for example. And number 4, keep an eye on real estate. See what the price trends are and what the interest rates are as well. Number 5, sell your gold at peak prices and use the profit to buy real estate. Imagine in 5 years' time you've purchased a house, and whether it's to rent it out for investment purposes or to live in it or to give it away as a gift, for example, I think it's an amazing thing that you could do. So it really is time for us to act now, because people are buying up the gold and silver, for example. And until gold reaches 5,000 an ounce, you're already in that opportunity now to purchase. So do you want to look at building a wealth building strategy by using gold or silver, for example, with real estate? Then you're in the right place. By understanding how real estate and gold move together, you can make smarter investment decisions when it suits you and the market. So what I'd want to also say to you is in the description, I've got a free PDF here in the description about get your free 5-year gold and real estate investment plan. I would love to hear more from you. I would love for you to like and subscribe. There's also a link as well for you to book an appointment to discuss our training programs, our strategies for gold and silver, for example, buying scrap gold at a reduced price than what the spot price is on the market today. You imagine the spot price is 3,000 per ounce and you can get it for 1,800 per ounce with broken jewelry, for example, gold. Wouldn't you do that? 1,800 for scrap gold as opposed to 3,000. It's like you're almost, you're increasing your money by over a third, for example. So download the free guide here, book a free 15-minute appointment with me, and I'll discuss with you our scrap gold party, how to do your own scrap gold business, for example. We have got our training for this as well. And I would love for you to be able to join me, because it's not just it's about looking at what the exit strategies can be in a particular business. It's about multiple income streams. It's about learning better ways to increase your profitability in your buying gold and silver. People are buying so much gold. People are really buying in mass today as we speak, because they know it's going up. It's just reached the 3,000 mark. It might be just over 3,000 mark, actually. I haven't checked from this morning, for example. So get the free guide, which is the 5-year gold and real estate investment plan. The link is in the description. I would love for you to join our email list by booking a free appointment with me so I can go through with you about your strategy, for example. But also, I would love for you to join our training for how to do your own scrap gold business, for example. So download the PDF so that you've got access to it, and enjoy the free gift, because what I really want to do is help you to build a strategy, a 5-year plan minimum, for example, because you've seen the charts that I've just showed you. And what I really want to do is to help you to make the choices to buy your gold or silver, for example. The download is here. And what I also want to say to you is that the silver mines, they're around the world, they're global, but globally, the silver is going to be depleted in, say, 20 years' time, 20 to 25 years' time, if they don't find another mine, for example. But there's lots of mines around the world, for example. And I've put the link here for one of the videos where they talk about the mines, the silver mines, that they are being depleted because we're using more energy. We're sucking it up, more energy. There's more solar panels. There's the electric vehicles that have to be charged, which takes a lot of energy. We're using a lot more energy than what we used to do many years ago. I don't know if you're from the UK, did you experience where there'd be like a blackout once a week or once a month? When I was a child, I quite enjoyed it, but I'm sure not everyone did enjoy it. Where we'd have to light candles and things like that to help save the grid, for example. So whether you're in the real estate market, because it is changing, inflation is rising, but it also depends where you are. Because I live in Cyprus, and we help, we show people around properties, for example, and the properties are not as high as they would be in certain places, for example. So the prices are quite reasonable, but they have gone up. Not saying they haven't, but they have gone up. But we've got some lovely, beautiful properties, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. I'll take you on a tour as well, so that you can see the properties as well. But what I'm saying to you is about leveraging both to build your wealth, property and gold and silver, for example. So it's about you protecting your wealth against inflation, for example. And this is huge. This gold and silver is growing, and you can thrive even in a recession by buying the gold and silver, for example. But also looking at having a 5-year strategy plan to maximize your profits. So how much gold do you need to buy a house? I explained earlier the amount of investment. It really depends on what the amount is of the property that you're looking to purchase, for example. So think about how much gold you're going to need, how many ounces that you're going to need to purchase a house. And if you get the scrap gold, for example, you can make up to 40% profit. So say, for example, I'm going to say if you need something that's 400 thousand, for example, I'm just saying this off the top of my head. You're getting a profit of £160,000 over a 5-year period, just at buying it at 40% discounted, plus the price of increase. So this is if you're buying gold at $1,800 per ounce. So you imagine in 5 years' time, it will be or could be 5,000 per ounce, or even 10,000 per ounce for gold. Now silver is also going to increase. Silver could be, by that time, it could be, $2,000, because of the demand is more for the silver, for the industries that provide us with the products and services that we use. So we're going to be using that more. So that's going to create scarcity, because the mines are going to be running out of silver in 20 to 30 years, for example. And there's a link here to a video for you to have a look at that. It's Ketco News, for example. Okay? But what I really want you to do is to contact me if you've got any business inquiries. My link is here. You can book a free 15-minute appointment with me, and we can discuss about gold and real estate, how powerful that they are together. I'm going to be starting to show you about gold, how to weigh the gold, how to buy the gold, how to do a gold party. I'm going to go through all of those steps anyway, for example, but I'm also going to be showing you properties in Cyprus. So I'll be taking you on some tours, for example, so that you can see the properties and see this beautiful island that I live on. But like I said, both of them go together, property and gold. But because of the cash being devalued, then it could cause a crash, for example, not on the gold or silver, but on the property. It could happen. But like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video today, and I wanted to share with you how you can create a 5-year investment plan by buying gold and silver. If you're looking at buying real estate, for example, with a future plan in, say, 5 years or even 10 years time, then that's great and wonderful, for example. Or even for a pension, whatever it is that you want to purchase the gold and silver for, it will help you during the difficult times. So imagine what the gold prices are going to be in 2030. It's going to be huge, isn't it? And the stocks, unfortunately, the stocks at the moment, they're just up and down, aren't they? They're up and down, and it's kind of a bit all over the place as well. And what I want to say to you is gold and silver is the way forward. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you. Yes, gold and silver is more sensible. It really is. Because if we think we can just put money into a bank and get interest, how much is that interest going to be, and how much can you actually store in a bank? The banks are only allowing us to store so much, for example, with guarantee, for example, whereas with gold and silver, and let me tell you something, the silver is the dark horse. The silver is like the tortoise that won the race against the hare, because this is like dual purpose, and it's used for manufacturing all those companies that have been keeping this secret to themselves, they've actually been, they've been made billionaires out of this, out of silver, and we've been using their products. So why should we not buy this silver and gold and make money from it? And especially if you do like scrap gold, because sometimes when you go onto eBay, you're going to get so much gold, for example. Then there's real estate, so much gold. Then there's auctions, so much gold. Then there's the pawn shops, then so much gold. Then the gold parties, so much gold from there. So each avenue that you go down, you'll be able to collect gold or silver, for example. And I think it's an amazing opportunity right now, because these big corporations, I think what's happening is that they're distracting us. So we're not thinking about the silver. We're not thinking that they're draining the reserves, the gold reserves, the silver reserves. It's time for you to build your own Fort Knox. It's time for you to build your own vault. It's time for you to build your own reserves, because only you can help yourself, really. No one else can. Because, tariffs are going up, everything's going up, and then the stock markets are like up and down, up and down, up and down. Whereas if you've got gold, holding it in your hand, gold coins or gold bars, then you cannot go wrong. It will keep increasing. As each week happens, it's increasing. So look at this now. There's some links here anyway, but look at it now. Subscribe, like, so that you get notifications when I go live. And the reason why I'm doing this is because for those of you that's in business, you should be doing this, because at least this way you've got something for if something bad was to happen, you've got expenses to pay for, you've got it there. Number two, if you are a consumer, if you are an individual that is into investing, then this is the thing to do right now. Go hard into this. There's about 5 avenues where you can get your gold and silver from. And this is going to increase your wealth. And you can use it as and when you need it. For a rainy day. If you're working for someone, you can't really say your job's safe, can you? Years ago, you'd be able to say that, but today you can't, because you can see people being let go left, right, and center all around the world. And like I said, if you buy that silver, that's going to be the dark horse, I believe so, because that's what they need to build the items that they provide you with. So it's going to go up in price because they are draining the reserves right now as we speak. They're not just buying, 3,000 ounce worth. They're buying millions of dollars worth. They're buying tons of gold and silver. And I'm talking about the wealthy here, because they know that it's going to increase in value, and in 20, 30 years' time, there could be no silver left in the mines. So we have to use what is here, for example. Gold and silver has stood the test of time. That is the one thing that you can rely on. Gold and silver. Not the cash, because that's going down in value. Gold and silver is rising all the time. There's so many ways that you can get this gold and silver. And I can't wait to share with you. But I also want you to be aware that it is achievable. That you can look at in, say, 5 years' time, you could quite easily save, for example, 160,000 profit-wise. But you could save 400,000. But out of that 400,000, if things go well, you could have a profit on top of 160,000. But it all depends how much that gold and silver really goes up to, because it could even exceed that. I'm just saying as it is at the moment, and from what I know, because I have done gold and silver parties in 2007 with my husband, for example. That was what he was focusing on, for example. And I know that it does work. I just wish I stuck with it. So anyway, so that is my discussion for today. And I wanted to show you how it is possible to, with gold and silver, that you can purchase a house and how much gold and silver you will need. I'm going to put the little chart, I'm going to copy and paste it here into the description once this video is finished. I'll also put the links of where I've got this information here for the charts so that you can access that. And I'll also, like I said, I'm going to give like a 5-year plan of how much gold you need to buy, for example. But check out the free PDF, for example, for you to download about how you can start your strategy for your 5-year plan. Just think about what you can do and what you can control. There's some bad things going on at the moment, but all we can do is control what we can control. And let's focus on this to help others and to help our families and to help you as well to grow, because you can get a really good wealth building portfolio here and it can grow massively. Don't just stick with one thing. There's lots of different ways that you can create wealth, and that's what I wanted to discuss with you today. All right, so thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed the video today about how much gold and silver you need to buy a house. And this is really an important update to make us aware that we can do this and we can start doing it now, especially at, silver being at $35 per ounce. Depends how much money you've got. So start with that. All right. So hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for liking the video and thank you for subscribing. I really do appreciate you, and I can't wait to share with you tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be discussing the silver mines, but I'm also going to be discussing other precious metals that we need to also think about as well, that is beneficial, that we can also make money from that as well. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's training, and I hope that you've learned a lot from it. And like I said, I'll be talking to you tomorrow about all the other items that you can get besides scrap gold and silver. There's lots of other precious metals that you can get, and also other ways that you can mine for silver as well. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Stay blessed, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.